Hey guys, going to show you how to install the tire carrier ladder on your transit van. Mid-roof, high roof, extend, trail, all of them are the same. So the process is going to be the same regardless of what chassis you got. We'll walk through the hardware that we got and the tools that you're going to need, and we'll dive in. So first thing we're gonna do is take off the inside panel. If you got the factory one still, the little pry bar tool or a little plastic body tool is the best. If you've already got this swapped out with something else, you're gonna need to take that off. After you get the inside trim pulled out of your door, you're gonna grab your templates. This one here with the 2 arrows goes on the outside. The one that's got the radius on the edge is for the inside. Some of the transit vans won't need this. There's this little hole slot right here. If your van has this guy, don't worry about this template, ours does. If it doesn't have that one, what you'll do is measure from the top of this latch right here up to give you a mark, and then you'll align that with the hole and get that in there. There's a PDF that helps give you some visuals of that as well if you don't have it, but ours has it, so we're gonna go drill this one. So just trust the template. I know it's kind of scary sometimes to drill that first hole in your van. It is pretty simple. You're gonna use 3/16 drill bit or something smaller. You wanna get a pilot hole started. This kind of helps with the bigger drill bit not to wanna walk on you. It's a little easier to control a small drill bit and make sure you stay really centered. So start with the pilot hole, and then we'll jump to a 27/64 hole for the clearance in that 3/8 bolt. It's a good idea to deburr your hole if you got any jagged edges, and then add a little bit of paint. If you've got like a special automotive paint, or you can just do a little bit of enamel spray paint and a rag, just be careful. Now we're going to install the actual carrier itself onto the carrier ladder, the big weldment. There is some large carriage bolts, a couple of backer plates, washers, and nylocks. So grab a backer plate. Carriage bolt goes through the backer plate, around the back side, and then we'll get these nylocks on. You definitely want to get these ones tight. They're obviously pretty critical for this staying on the van. So make sure you get these sucked down real tight. If you need to, you also can tighten them down once this is up on the doors. Makes it a little easier to really torque on them. Now we are ready to put the hinge brackets on the door themselves. Something you're gonna wanna do is take a Sharpie and put a mark on the hinge and on the door, just as alignment markers of how it came from the factory. It helps when you're getting this bolted back up, just to give you good reference that your hinge went back where it was supposed to. We're gonna unbolt this, open the hinge up, feed it around, and then bolt this bracket on top of the hinge using the factory hardware to get it, and then it sits on the outside of your door. It's a good idea to have a buddy to help just make sure the door is still and doesn't twist at all when you have this hinge off. You don't really hold much of the weight, but you really don't want this door to twist or move at all when you have this unbolted. So once you get the bottom one on, you're gonna wanna just double check to make sure it's not rubbing on the door, it doesn't hit on anything, that it's got good clearance. They should all be fine, but it's always good to just double check. We'll move on and get the upper hinge installed. Same thing, make your marks, have a buddy, take it off, and then we're ready to get it mounted up. We are ready to hang it up. If your buddy's still around, it's super helpful to have one person holding it up and then just get a bolt, a washer, and a nylock through on the top and bottom to hold it in place. Once your carrier is actually hung up on the van and in place, it's time to get the third mount bushing stack put through. You're gonna start with your 3/8 button head bolt. There's gonna be a bushing cap that's an aluminum piece. It's got a little pocket machined in there for the screw head. Then you'll go to the smaller of the 2 bushings. This is where the actual third mount of your tire carrier is gonna go, so this whole thing will push through there, followed by the larger of the dampening bushings, and then the door boss cap, which has a rubber sealing washer already attached to the back side of that. So you wanna make sure that the rubber sealing side goes towards the sheet metal of your door. And then this whole thing will go through the sheet metal of your door, and we'll put our bracket on the inside. So very carefully open up your door. Make sure that this doesn't get pulled out so that you can get access to the inside. We're gonna take the bracket that goes in there. The flange goes on the top, and the bigger cutout here goes towards the door. There's a graphic in the PDF to help out to see that as well. We're gonna put this on, followed by a flat washer and a nylock onto this outside bolt that we just pushed through. Get this finger tight, and then we're going to put in a 1/4-20 button head and a nylock through this slot right here, or if you had to drill it to get this bracket tightened up and get that held in there securely. We are gonna tighten down this outer one first. You wanna tighten this bushing to where it's snug and it starts to compress, but not so much that it bulges up or is over tightened. So it's a little bit of a feel, but get it snug, not too tight. Once the third mount and the bracket are installed and tightened down, come back and we're gonna tighten the hinge bolts themselves. There's some adjustment, there's a slot in there for you to set the angle of your ladder, as well as get the fitment as close in or out, and just kind of help get it seated. So get it adjusted where you like it and tighten these bolts down. After you get the hinge bolts tightened down, grab your support plate here. This goes on the bottom in those extra 2 slots and gets pushed up against the door. It just helps add a little bit of extra support in there. Bolt it through the same way. Grab your foot pegs, Loctite, and the little wrench that we have included. Make sure you get these Loctited in and then installed into the bungs. It's welded onto the frame itself. We are ready to install the studs. There's 2 different bolt patterns on here, 2 different options. If you have the 2-wheel drive or the 5-lug, you want to use the bolt pattern that has the little notch cut out in the side. If you have the all-wheel drive or the dually or a 6-lug wheel, you want to use the bolt pattern that does not have the notches. Make sure that you are Loctiting these in really good and tightening these down really hard. These are definitely something you want to be in there solid. In the kit, there are 3 security lug nuts and the socket key for them. If you have special locking nuts on the rest of your van, you can absolutely match those, but there are 3 of them included. And that's it, your tire carrier ladder is installed. If you have any questions, if you're watching this before you actually get into it and you're curious, there's something we didn't cover, reach out to customer service. Our team loves to help out however we can. We just love to chat vans with you guys also. So if anything else comes up, let us know. If not, enjoy your next adventure.